Welcome back to our Pompey Walk, 20 minutes of Portsmouth chat. Coming up this week, we're talking about the Yengi injury, just how good is Potts and that Blackburn win. Are we now just one win away from being safe? The full team, of course, back with us. Also, we're asking about club versus country and where do Pompey sit in the Fair Play League? The answer to that might surprise you. That's all coming up in around about 5 minutes' time. We've got Sam, Jake, Phil, and Sam back with us. Sam, let's start off with you. That Blackburn game was a poor game, two poor sides, one tweet said. Is that giving it a disservice?
I mean, yeah, I think defensively we were obviously very good, but yeah, it was a bit of a nothing game. I think 3 points at the stage of the season is the most important thing, and we've probably been struggling, if we're honest with ourselves, with those type of games where it's just been like gritty performances. But I think we're all just glad to walk away with 3 points and get it done.
Yeah, we'll talk about some of the outstanding players in a minute, Phil. But who for you stood out?
Probably Josh Murphy in the first half. His goals and assists this season are pretty impressive, to be honest. Yeah, he's really stepped up. He took his goal really well. Really impressed, taking on his man on the wing every time. He's doing really well.
Here's some tweets from the game, Sam. Potts came out, Sam, with most of the credit online. Is that fair?
I'd say so. I'd say him, Murphy, and Ogilvie were the best 3 players that we had on the pitch that day. But yeah, definitely Potts. He looks like prime Pirlo in the middle there, just spraying the ball around and everything like that. But and like we've said, it's a shame that he signed a new deal at West Ham, because we probably could have snagged him for like 900,000 in the summer or something.
Yeah. Some of these tweets here. Dave Till at the bottom here says Potts and Duzzle will top draw. Chris says, I thought Freddie Potts was the best player in a blue shirt today. Connor Ogilvie, man of the match, confuses me. A lack of composure on the ball and always seems in a hurry to get rid of it. Time on the ball and a few more seconds to pick his pass is what he needs. Just my opinion. What we do on this show is throw these opinions out and see if you agree with it. Jake, are you having any of that?
I thought he had a good game. I think he's been playing left back all season, so playing centre half is a bit of a new role for him. He's not going to go in there and be a Rolls Royce straight away. So a little bit harsh, I think, that tweet. I probably would have given Potts man of the match over him, but I thought he done well.
Okay.
I thought Poole had a really good game at the back as well. He calmed things down and just I thought he played really well at the back.
They had like 3 or 4 different strikers throughout the 90 minutes to deal with and dealt with them all really well. So, yeah, defensively we were good.
Yeah.
I know Josh Murphy's been shouted out by Phil, Sam, but there were a few saying he was awful in the second half and that he didn't look interested. People are going to cut him a little slack, but do you agree with that in the second half, that he just didn't seem as usual?
I think awful is a stretch. I think that whole second half was a pretty dull watch, to be honest. And yeah, I think there was not a lot of chances each end. I watched the highlights again this morning. The highlights were just nothing. I think they only had that chance where Schmid almost got lobbed, which he did well with. But yeah, I think when he's your match winner, you can't give him too much stick, can you?
Well, Portsmouth fans do. Let's have a look at some more. Neil says it was a bigger result than Leeds, this. Fantastic result. And this one, John says, I have to say, I've been a season ticket holder for near on 55 years, and I can't remember the level of support ever being as fervent as it has been the last 2 seasons at Fratton. Well done to all of us. Phil, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, in a way, you sort of forget some of the years that have gone past, and probably we've had good support. But it does definitely feel there was a real connection last year. I felt with the team and the crowd, and obviously that when you're winning the league, that things are going well. That's easier. It's been tough this year at times, but I think the fans have definitely stuck behind the team well. And I think, and I've said this before, I definitely think it helps. So no, I think that's a fair comment.
Yeah, I've said before, every team we speak to says the Pompey fans Pompey fans are the best. We spoke to the Preston fans last week after we spoke to you and said, my goodness, the best fans that came to Deepdale were Portsmouth by a country mile. Right, where does this leave us then, Sam? It leaves us with 7 games to go and a trip to Millwall this weekend. Is it a case of one more win and we are there?
2. I think we need 2. 50 points. 50 points was the goal before the season. So I think 2 more wins. And with Millwall, I mean, we lost them 1-0, reverse fixture. So we can beat them. I say we can beat them and then pick up a couple draws from now to the end of the season. But yeah, getting above that 50 points, I think, is the main priority.
I mean, Millwall are going to be a tough side, but then it's Coventry away next after that in a midweek, Jake. So, I mean, do you hold up much for these next 2 games?
I'll take a point against Millwall. I can't see us getting much against Coventry. Away all season, our form away has been pretty poor, and we've relied on results at Fratton. We still got Derby and Hull to come at home, and you look at them games and think if we can nick 2 wins there, we'll be safe. But yeah, I agree with Sam. I still think we need 2 wins. We're at that stage of the season where everyone down there is going to be picking up points, especially playing against teams that have got nothing to play for, like QPR proved on Saturday by getting battered by Stoke. So, yeah, 2 wins, but I can't see us getting much out of the next 2 games, unfortunately.
Okay.
It's getting awfully tight down at the bottom as well. So tight at the bottom.
That's why I think yesterday's win was so important. What a difference having 3 points on the Saturday makes.
Oh, yeah.
Because after Preston, we were 4 from the bottom 3, and now it's 7. It just psychologically makes such a difference.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, and you'll all be cheering for Preston against Derby, won't you? Of course, this Wednesday night. Right, we're also looking then this week at the Fair Play League. There's been some suggestions that Portsmouth have been a bit dirty from other teams this season now. So we wanted to investigate whether the stats back that up. I mean, Sam, from your impressions in terms of what you've seen, where would you say you are in the Fair Play League without having let me show you first?
I wouldn't say we're that high, to be honest. I was like mid-table, I guess. I was looking at the yellows for our team earlier. I was surprised to see Dozzell's got like 9, which I thought he's gone under the radar with that bit. But yeah, maybe 15th or something. But
okay, let's have a look then. So you are the second dirtiest side in the division. 91 yellow cards. There's only Stoke that have got more yellow cards than you have. Doesn't help you.
Are we taking into the account the bad officiating in the championship? Or what?
Well, yeah. Some other fans have said actually that's not a bad thing. That 91 yellow cards, 1 red, of course, not as bad as Preston, who have had just the 5 red cards this season.
Wow.
But I mean, Phil, joking aside, does that surprise you?
It does. It absolutely surprises me because if I think, go through the team of players we've got, and I don't think there's anyone that's that traditional sort of dirty player that we've had in the past. So I am genuinely surprised. I think that probably does partially reflect the poor officiating we've had, but let's not go there.
I mean, you could argue it, Jake, that it's, these yellow cards, it's not just mean you're dirty. It just means perhaps you've got a tactic of breaking up play or, stopping some runs and taking some yellow cards. Do you read it that way?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we've only got 9 to go to get to 100 before the end of the season, so that'll be some achievement. Yeah, I'm surprised, actually. Very surprised at that. The only red card I can remember is Marlon Pack getting sent off, so I can't remember many red cards. So there's obviously the yellows that have got us up there. But yeah, very surprised.
Yeah. Let's look at the players then, shall we? In terms of the top 10 dirtiest players in the league. There is a Portsmouth player in there, Sam. Do you want to hazard a guess who that might be?
I'll probably go Marlon Pack just from his performances at the back there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So he's the 7th dirtiest player with 7 yellow cards and one red. And then you don't have another player in the top 30. So it really is just Marlon Pack who's
a team effort.
who's propelling you from this league. But I mean, Sam, do you have any issues with this in terms of your team being up there in terms of being labelled dirty by other teams?
I don't think so. I think I think Mousinho touched on it after that Preston game in his interview. He said that he was like fuming with some fouls weren't made when they should have been to like break up the play and stuff. So I think most of those yellows will just be like fouls just to break up the play, getting over the line. So I think if you had like 6 red cards or 5 like Preston got, you'd be a bit like worried. But I don't think there's much wrong with it, to be honest.
Honestly, as well, I don't think we're perceived as a dirty team in the league. Like just going off social media and stuff like that. I don't know. Like,
there's been a few managers moaning about us, hasn't there?
There's been a number of managers commented,
yeah.
Yeah, lots of people have said you play the dark arts game, and some of our fans we speak to, as you know, we speak to all 24 have said, I like Pompey, but yeah, they should get more cards than what they do. Okay, we're also looking at penalties as well. Your penalty record, you're the 4th. 5 penalties received, 4 scored, 1 missed this season as well, which is a pretty good record. Look at Sunderland's in comparison. 5 received, 4 missed, including one this weekend. Phil, what do you put your good penalty record down to this season in terms of conversion rates? You've got the second highest conversion rates of penalties of all the championship.
It's probably not down to Elias Sorensen, but maybe Colby Bush. I don't know. Yeah, you could argue penalties are luck, but it's probably a bit of skill and practice in there as well. I'd like to say it's dedication on the training ground, perhaps. It's ironic, though, I see Watford top of the table, given they had a penalty that was a foul 5 yards out of the box. But again, not that I'm bitter or anything.
You won't let this one go, will you?
No. I couldn't help but bite.
Okay. Yeah, and once again, our Hull fans are desperate to not have to come to Fratton Park on last day of the season to keep their season alive. Right. Finally, this week we're talking club and country. So do let us know in the comments. We want to hear from you on this one because it's divided a lot of the fan base. Every international break, of course, there comes a discussion about whether you'd rather see your club do well or your country do well. So, Sam, Pompey back in the Prem, or I'm going to say England win the World Cup, but I'm going to have to go Canada win something, aren't I?
I'm not Canadian.
All right, you just live there. Okay.
No.
Right. England win the World Cup then.
England are known over here. I mean, every time England get knocked out of something on penalties, I always get the stick. I always get at work. It's always, England got knocked out on penalties again. But I have to go Pompey in the Premier League. Just though I remember those days when Pompey were in the Premier League and we had the likes of Crouchy and Defoe and Sully Montari and Lassana Diarra. We had like superstar team and just like beating the likes of Man United, and just that was such a glory days, and take me back to those days. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Phil, club or country?
I have to be honest, I'm a little bit torn in the context of if it's us back in the Premier League, the immediate thing that comes to mind is VAR. So I'm quite happy in the Championship without it, to be perfectly honest. But I mean, I would always say Pompey come first for me, but I think in the context of the specific question, I'd actually say England World Cup.
Yeah. Jake?
I've followed England too long and seen too much pain not to grab a World Cup if it was up there.
Yeah, I agree with Phil. I'd say England to win the World Cup rather than Pompey back in the Prem. I've seen us in the Prem, but I've not seen England win the World Cup. So yeah. I'll go. Although Pompey's always my priority, I will go England on this one.
Okay. No disrespect to our previous 2 speakers there, Sam, but obviously you've got a lot more of your life to see these events happen. So what would you go with?
I mean, I'd rather Pompey beat Coventry and Millwall rather than England win the World Cup. I think it's not even close, to be honest, the gap.
Okay. Right, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I get behind England whenever there's a big tournament on, but like the friendlies over the past week, they were just snooze fest. So yeah, always Pompey for me.
All right, well spoken. All right, let us know in the comments what you think as well. And thank you very much, of course, for joining us. Do subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet already done so. We'll be back in 7 days' time to review how that Millwall game has gone. And of course, look ahead to the final 6 games of the season. We're nearly there. Thank you very much. Have a great week, everyone.